And welcome once again to Red Gaming Tech. My name is Marta and I'm here once again to give you the daily dose of your latest gaming news as of the 15th of June. At this time I've got some interesting news concerning Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed, as the CEO Yves Guillemot, and I still keep butchering that name every time I try to pronounce it, has said that they currently have 3 Assassin's Creed games in development, and has said that the franchise adopts an annualized release strategy, much like Activision's Call of Duty and, of course, DICE with Battlefield, with multiple teams working on staggered releases for 2 to 3 years each. And as I mentioned, Guillemot has said that 3 titles are currently in the works, and Ubisoft is committing the resources to offer a different experience with each one. And he had this to say: "We are making sure the teams who are creating the different iterations have enough time, 2 years, 3 years, so they can take risk and they can change the concept enough so it can be appealing and fresh. Really what we see is, and what we can have, is the capacity to regularly come with innovation. That is, for me, the formula. If you change the game on a regular basis and bring in innovation, your fans want a product very regularly. Our job is to make sure the teams have enough power, enough energy, and enough time to take the necessary steps to create a high-quality game." Unfortunately, he wouldn't give details on what these particular games actually are. Of course, one of them is Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which is coming out on October 29th, in the US, and November 1st in the UK. It's interesting to actually get some light on how a yearly release actually works, and I suppose the staggered release thing makes perfect sense because you can't make a top game in a year. And while Assassin's Creed 3 had its share of problems, it was still a good game at its core, and obviously Assassin's Creed 4 is looking to be very, very good indeed. And although Call of Duty and Battlefield are not my particular cups of tea, as I don't really like first-person shooters, especially modern military ones, to say they're bad games, well, that would be silly, because they're obviously not. They're just not for me. And obviously the quality for the multiplayer is obviously there in spades, and there's a reason those series are so popular, so it makes perfect sense that it would be different teams and so forth. I do want to know more about these innovations though. Obviously they are bringing new stuff to the table with Black Flag, with the naval combat, and of course all the various other things, and they brought quite a lot new to the table with Assassin's Creed 3 as well, with the whole tree climbing thing, and basically they tightened up the combat a lot, and the free running aspect was just a lot more free and had a lot more flow to it because of how they changed it, and the fact that you could just climb on trees and everything just added so much freedom to it. And obviously Assassin's Creed is all about being open world, all about climbing and exploration, as well as the story, of course. So I hope they keep those elements for 4 and bring something new to the table as well, and hopefully tighten up the combat, because Assassin's Creed's strong point, at least in my opinion, is the story. And the gameplay is good. I like the free running, the stealth and all that, but the actual combat, it's the weakest part of every game. Assassin's Creed 3 was better, but still needs a lot of work, and to be honest, I think that they kind of need to completely overhaul it, but obviously that's not going to happen because they want to still make it an Assassin's Creed game. But I do feel like that's the main area that needs innovation these days. But of course, I'm not a developer. I'm just a lowly video games journalist, giving my opinion, but still, that's what I personally think. Obviously, I'm not saying only do that. Innovation is always good. Iteration, while needed in the gaming industry, you don't want to see too much of it in one series. Obviously, new ideas and so forth are always good. So let's hope that each of these Assassin's Creed games can bring something new and fresh to the table. I would imagine that at least one of them is the next numbered title on one of the games being worked on, of course, but obviously that's completely speculation on my part. Be curious to hear your thoughts on this, as I'm kind of considering doing a video on yearly releases, my opinions on them and so forth, just talking more on the topic of yearly franchises and so forth. I'm just wondering if you guys would actually be interested in such a video. Back in the early dark days of Red Gaming Tech, we did quite a few videos on Well, basically, the mechanics of gameplay, what makes a good character, what makes a good scary game, and what makes good sound, blah blah blah. And I want to bring those back a little bit, and I'm kind of thinking that this might be a good way to do so. I was wondering if you guys would actually be interested. Anyway, as I said, that's me done. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.